When I think of Half-Life, I think of three things. It's immersive storytelling, the first time I tested out my Voodoo 2 graphics card, and the fact that this game pretty much got me into gaming. Half-Life, Gordon Freeman, that handy crowbar, the memories. I still can't decide whether Half-Life or The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is my favorite game of all time. And to be honest, I hate trying to make this call. But I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that the former was the most influential to me by a long shot. Well, Valve was started by former Microsoft employees Mike Harrington and Gabe Nowell in the late 1990s, and Half-Life was their first undertaking after much inspiration from Doom. The game was a science fiction themed first-person shooter that broke new ground, graphically, cinematically, as well as on the gameplay front. Most first-person shooter titles of the 1990s involved blasting anything that moves, but Half-Life was a different animal. Players were flung into a fully interactive environment that required us almost as much puzzle solving as it did gunplay. These ranged from logic-based conundrums, such as constructing a staircase made from boxes, to things as mortally satisfying as killing an enemy by activating a valve that sprayed them with hot steam. Half-Life was first shown in E3 in 1997 and finally found its way to the market late the following year. The title attracted universal acclaim and was hailed by many publications as one of the greatest games of all time. It was also a great commercial success, earning a place in the gaming edition of the Guinness World Records book as the best-selling shooter of all time. The game was based on ID Quake's engine, but Valve heavily modified the technology, adding skeletal animation and direct 3D support. The end result far surpassed anything else in the market and set new standards for the first-person shooter genre. Yet its appeal was more than surface deep. The silent protagonist named Dr. Gordon Freeman was a theoretical physicist. His likeness was only glimpsed on the game's packaging and promotional material, and his role as a silent hero gave off the illusion that the players had stepped directly into his boots. The game starts with Gordon on a train ride, which to me at the time was a mind-blowing experience. This ride told you about the character and where he was going, showing you all of these different areas in this massive research complex Gordon happened to work at. I always thought that the train ride into the Black Mesa research facility was a fascinating and unique introduction. Gordon has been assigned to the anomalous materials sector where an experiment into teleportation technology is being conducted. Once you push that card into the beam, the teleporter melts down and opens portals to the alien world's end. It's then up to Gordon to fight the aliens and make it out of the facility alive, teaming up with security guards and scientists facing not only alien creatures, but badass soldiers with impressive AI and unique puzzles. Half-Life pioneered many firsts in this genre. The biggest innovation is that the game never shifts away from your perspective of the action, meaning there's no cutscenes, no early explanations of the backstory, and given that your character couldn't talk, well, that gave you room to fill in those blanks with all you needed to. Other innovations included seamless level transitions, having to reload your weapons occasionally, and a passable excuse for a heads-up display. Since Gordon is a scientist, you must wear a hazard suit that comes equipped with HUD readers for health, shield, weapons, and ammo. I'll never forget the moment when he first suits up. That was an epic experience, man. The game is massive, and many places you visit along the way are extremely convincing. When stuck on the alien planet Zen or trying to find signs of life after the initial disaster, you'll feel isolated and alone. When in a firefight with Marines, you'll feel a rush of adrenaline. The game does it all, and for the time it was beautifully looking, and on top of that ran smoothly on nearly any PC setup. The game was a masterpiece and also raised the bar in terms of storytelling, back when first-person titles weren't exactly renowned for their in-depth plots. But Freeman's adventure had plenty of twists in its tale and was thoroughly involving. It was based on a script by sci-fi writer Mark Laidlaw, who drew inspiration from various sources. Valve distributed the game's level design tool Wallcraft within its software and encouraged indie developers to build their own multiplayer maps. Like Doom before it, Half-Life proved incredibly popular in its front, taking the modding craze to new heights within the first-person genre. Some of the maps created for the title even spawned standalone games such as Valve's own Counter-Strike and Team Fortress. The game received an equally successful sequel in 2004 and in turn spawned a series of episodes, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, which was released in 2006, with Episode 2 landing the following year. The third episode has been strongly rumored for some time but remains unannounced. Valve released a game-changing masterpiece in 1998, and its legacy has remained strong thanks to its cultural impact on the first-person sector. Everybody who plays Half-Life have a favorite memory, cherished moment, and they all feel personal. Half-Life taught a whole generation of big-budget game developers how to tell stories in an interactive space without continually wresting control from the player, followed by a variety of sequels and add-ons, expanding the story and exploring new perspectives. Sadly, the series was ended on one of the most infuriating cliffhangers of all time, and according to Valve, there are no plans to conclude it. We hope the series somehow finds some closure. Will the level of expectation ever be realized? Nonetheless, we at CyberCom will always hold this game in high regard. This Retro Rewind is us paying homage to a title that not only meant a lot to gaming, but a title that redefined an entire genre. This can only be the honorable Half-Life.